Right, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Abir. I'm a foundation year student of architecture, and I was brought here by a friend for this interview.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you to your friends who
Sure.
brought you here for the interview. Okay, so here's my first question. Do you listen to Indian classical music?
Not per se Indian classical, but like Pakistani music, the Indian subcontinent.
Okay, very good. You listen to Pakistani
Yeah,
classical music?
yeah, ghazals and Sufis.
Okay, that's semi classical, it's not classical music.
Okay.
And Pakistani classical music would also be Indian classical music per se, because it belongs to the same region. Okay. What I mean by Indian classical music is like the classical tradition, like Hindustani music or Carnatic music.
Not really.
You don't listen to it.
No.
Why not?
It was never brought to attention. From like a couple of generations, it has been subdued by, let's say, capitalism or the influx of Britishers, which kind of changed their viewpoint on the way of life.
Fantastic. Very good. Why do you think you mentioned it has been subdued by capitalism or forces like
Yeah.
that? Can you explain that a little further?
Most of these classical music or classical dances were brought by, Adivasi people and like localites of the land. So they were, I guess, low level artisans. So the British subdued that part of the economy and the part of that business. So these people kind of migrated back to their homelands, if that's a point to say.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of stopped sharing with the world,
Okay.
and the world stopped giving any importance to those artists. That's why it got
Okay,
faded
very
away.
good. What kind of music do you like and listen to yourself personally?
Uh, Personally, I'm gonna say I have a very country taste.
Very good. Go ahead.
Yeah,
You like country music?
yeah,
Like, American country music?
American country music or even British country music for that matter.
British country music?
Yeah, that's a very
Or folk music?
that's
British folk music?
yeah.
Yeah. Like what? Can you name a few artists?
I don't really know the names of the artists, but
Okay.
yeah, I enjoy that.
But you enjoy British and American music?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what about Bollywood? Do you listen to Bollywood?
Not newer stuff, newer stuff.
Why not new stuff?
I don't know. It's very mainstream. It's very in your face.
Okay. Yeah. But you like to listen to some older ones.
Yeah,
Like like whom?
mm, like Kishore Kumar.
Yeah.
Udit
That's
Narayan.
also very mainstream, isn't it?
That's true, but I don't know. It has that kind of nostalgia attached to it that I never experienced, but I can experience it through the music.
Okay. Have you ever been to a classical music concert?
Once. In a while.
Indian classical
Yeah,
music. How was that?
it was great. It was more of a orchestra than it was not a European orchestra. It was an Indian orchestra, but it was comprising every instrument you could think of, and it was great. It was like a rock concert, but Indian.
So, I would like to ask if you enjoyed that
I
concert,
did.
what makes you not listen to more of that?
That's a good question. It's I guess the people who listen to music, you kind of influence yourself by that, and you kind of want to get included. It's a basic human need to get included in groups and like societies. So
Yeah.
yeah, that made right.
Most people who go to Indian classical concerts, Westerners included,
Yeah.
and Chinese and Japanese and Australians included, they often feel that Indian classical music is very mystical and it transports you into some other realm
That's true.
if you see the whole concert,
Yeah.
okay? Don't you think that gives you a better thrill than modern pop and rock and stuff? Why do you think in India there's a scarcity of promotion of Indian classical music?
Maybe to compare yourself with the West or compete with the West in that matter.
No, just compete with fucking Bollywood. Sorry.
That's true.
Huh?
Yeah.
The whole country, like you said, forces of capitalism. Bollywood is the force of capitalism. And what Bollywood and what recording industry does is minimize everything into 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes. An Indian classical raga cannot be minimized into a 3.5 minute experience. As a result, it has been noted that the emphasis moves away from classical arts and it just goes into something which sells. Do you think that India is poised at a juncture where we seriously need to look at a kind of a return of Indian classical music?
There has been some awareness of Indian classical music, but not much.
There are just two international organizations who are promoting Indian classical music as of now. One is Pick McKay, and the other one I don't remember the name, but it's a similar organization, especially in India. In a country as large as this, there are two independent organizations. What I'm asking you, if I told you, should India have a ministry of music?
It really should. Every country should, for that matter.
Often they say Ministry of Culture, and then they will plug art and handicraft and design, everything under the Ministry of Culture. But music itself is a huge industry.
That's true.
And Indian music, especially classical music, it looks like it's been put on the wayside. No one wants to touch it. Do you feel you
Yeah.
can resonate with that?
Yeah, for sure.
If I ask you a question as a student, you're a young student. If I said, I will orient you in a lecture about Indian classical music, I will train you a little how to appreciate its beauty. Do you think that will put an interest in you to go out looking for it?
Yeah, I've been actually guided into many music genres before, so I would enjoy that.
What about, do you think Indian classical music could be a part of our education policy?
Maybe to an extent. To an extent.
Well, in American and British schools, music is a mandatory subject from class KG up till class 10 or something. Whether you major in it or it doesn't matter, but you have to understand the musical language. Most children in America and Europe can play the basic nursery rhyme or Christmas carols or even some classical pieces. 90% of people can play. Do you think time has come that in India we should have that capacity? Every student must at least understand.
Yeah, it's about understanding the history and culture of the
Very
language.
good. Thank you very much,
Thank
Abir.
you, sir.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Okay?